So here's that Nacet. 72 uses on it now. 50 dots on this side. 22 on that. Gillette Nacet. So today is 73. The soap we're going to use is a small fragment, the remnants of my Williams puck that I started in August. The razor is the Fatip Grande from Italy. The brush is a nice knot from Golden Nib. This is their premium Silvertip. I like to soak my badgers in a little bit of water. You can just run them through, but I like to soak them. And lather bowl here. I am going to just use another, maybe I won't even use my lather bowl today. Yeah, that's right. His recommendation, his method for Williams is a 30-second load, and then with a pretty full brush of water, and then just go right to the face. No soaking, so let's just see what happens. I'm also pretty positive that I'm probably going to add more time to that, because with such a small puck, it'll probably come loose as I'm working with it, and so then I need to add more time because the puck is it's moving around with the brush instead of getting moved upon. So I'm probably going to increase the time to that, but everything else, let's just stick with it and just see what happens. I can't remember if I tried that, something akin to that exact method, and then he goes right to his face for a face lather, and I could always use to learn a little bit more about face lathering. So we'll do that. All right, I think the badger's been soaking for enough time, and so I'm going to get my face wet. Kind of cool water right now. I do have hard water. Williams does just fine with that. And he says he pulls out his brush, just kind of waits until it stops dripping. That's pretty much a stop. And then here's our little fragment right there. And we're just going to go, let's just do a 1-minute load. I'll give it a shake just to kind of speed up the dribbling. All right. Go right in. We'll start at 40. There we go. We'll just see. Sorry about the clinking. If I put my fingers in there to keep it from clinking, then I can't move my brush around very much because I've got pretty big hands. So what was it, 40 I think, so we'll just keep loading. Pretty wet in there because there was a lot of water in the brush. That's all right. One of the keys with Williams is just to keep going through that thin, bubbly lather. That's the early kind of lather you usually get. Just keep brushing, keep mixing through that, and you'll get to some good stuff. All right, almost to 40, and there we go. Okay, very thin, very wet. Just see what happens. That is, maybe I should have tilted it over and gotten rid of some of that mess. All right, here we go. Face is ready. Well, you definitely get the cooling effect of the cool water. Okay, this is just too messy. I guess I just came into it a little too wet. You know, sometimes if you hold the brush, this is super soft though. I really like this knot. If you like lower backbone knots, I'd say it's medium low. Then I'd say this is a good choice for you. Super soft. Lather's just flying all over my bathroom. Definitely not the kind of shave you want to do when you've got your good clothes on and you're heading out the door. But I probably just started with a little too much water. Yeah, it looks like a war zone around here. But the lather's coming together now. Now this side, it's so funny. If I turn around and go the opposite direction, it feels so weird. Yeah, there we go. Nice creamy lather. Well, shoot. That's pretty easy, huh? So I think what I just need to do probably is throw a little bit more water off. Look at that. How easy was that? Very simple. Start with a little bit less water on my brush, and I'll have less shrapnel flying around the room. No soaking needed. It's not super thick on my face in some parts, but cool thing about Williams is it doesn't have to be. All right, I have already put the Nacet blade in my razor. So let's go ahead and get going here. Now, last time I used this razor, I had a really thin lather. And so I wanted to give it another shot. Because this, the first version of this Fatip Grande is more aggressive. And it did really well with this older blade. But this one's a little more calmed down, and so I was curious if it had been calmed down too much or not. So far it seems to be doing very well. Nice protection from via the lather. This is my trouble area, so I'm going to spend just a second or two longer right there. And that was just really simple. I don't know whether I'll have to go back to my mug and get a little bit more come third pass or not. I'm going to rinse this off. To a small degree, not a full rinse. Neck area felt great right there. Cheeks weren't super slick, but they were slick. But I bet the next pass here will kind of give us better results in terms of the after effects. Yeah, okay, so it kind of blows its wad on the first time there. So let's just go back in the mug for just a little bit. This is one thing that's a difference with face lathering and bowl lathering. You may have more time in the beginning fixing up that lather in the bowl, but you don't have time spent on second and third passes trying to whip up that lather. And if you shave with aggressive razors or rough blades, then that can kind of hurt you a little bit because of the brush rash, if you will, brush burn, where the even soft tips can irritate skin that's already in a certain state of irritation. All right. I love these Fatips. I love their price point. $25 or so, and it's a razor that can last your whole life. It's not like the Parkers and the Mercurs and the Edwin Jaggers, and because it's made out of pure brass underneath the plating. So the plating will last a very long time, but the underlying brass will last lifetimes. And that's kind of what the vintage Gillettes did, and there's just a billion of those out there that are still great shavers. And so this has got that same potential. But I also love the cutting, how it's a smooth cutter and yet efficient. Cuts very well, but it doesn't give an aggressive feel as it does so well. Some razors will do. They'll be good cutters, but they'll feel like they're irritating your skin and cutting really close, but this has much more smooth feel. All right, I'm going to rinse. All right. I dabbed off some of the excess water that was on my skin because I felt like what was on the brush didn't really need it. I wanted to see what would happen. So I'm going to go and get back into here. I think there's a little bit of moisture in there as well. So basically I'm having to rebuild the lather with each pass in this particular case. Maybe reducing the water in the brush initially would allow more to be retained in the brush, or more of a concentrate to be there. So we'll definitely try that again. Yeah, that's a good lather right there. One problem with the Fatips is that every once in a while the plating isn't quite as top quality as some of the other razors out there. But for the price, I mean, come on. A lifetime razor that cuts really well, does it smoothly. I mean, who cares about a few finish flaws? That's my take. And then the other thing is sometimes it takes a little bit to align the blade. There's a little bit of play in there, and so it means that you do have to check the blades for alignment. Occasionally it can take 20 seconds to get it right, but I think that when it's your main razor, you shave with it enough, you will get it pretty quickly. I think it's just a skill you learn. And sure enough, today, I think it was like 5 seconds. You know, that's all it took. Just a couple of twists and untwists because I needed to tweak a little bit, and then boom, it was done. So to me, it's not really as much of an issue as it is with some others. We'll rinse. Well, I do think that Williams is a soap that lends itself toward the face lather, because in the bowl, when you first start out, you maybe have it a little dry, and it needs to really be joined and mixed with the water well, and then you'll hit that peak time where you need to use it. But if you miss it somehow, you kind of miss that peak time. If you don't quite get the right water and soap ratio, and you move right into I'm too thin, and then no matter how much water you keep adding, I'm going to get even more thin. And so, but as long as you don't miss that, as long as you have enough soap in there, then you can actually get in the bowl to a really sweet place of a great lather. And I've demonstrated it so many times on my channels. My Williams channel is just replete with that kind of info. So let's do a little neck thing. I'm still going back to the puck again. Let me gather kind of what was around there. There we go. All right, so I'll do a little careful work here. This blade has just been so good, and it's smooth right now because it's just had so many uses that I want to give it the best chance and see if this razor is a good match. His older brother, the V1 is, and this is a cross grain pass right here. No irritation. Not super slick. You know, I definitely have gotten slicker lathers with my bowl procedures. And what I was thinking about with the face, trying to say earlier, is that the face gives you a instant feel. And so you feel when it gets to a creamy state. And then you feel, hey, I can stop adding water or whatever. So yeah, I think maybe I'll try this one more time with maybe a little bit less water in the brush and see then if it helps me not to maybe have to go back to the mug before every pass. So I've ended up with an above average result, and just a few little noticeable hairs that have any length on them. The rest of them are cut flush, and that's average to above average for me. So let's throw on the post shave, and this is a sample from Barrister and Mann of the Reserve Cool. It's a great classic kind of blue scent, and the way these things work, you kind of wiggle that a little bit and then you can tear them off. Throw the little tab away, and this is kind of an auto self-closing kind of thing. I'll squeeze a little bit and then just sit it up. I think a little bit dripped through my fingers when I was trying to put that thing away. So I'll get a little bit more. A little bit of alcohol, because on my first application there I felt a tiny sting somewhere over here. I do see a tiny bit of redness here, but a lot of times I'll get that and it won't bother me at all, and it goes away quickly. So yeah, this particular lather wasn't as thick and luxurious as I've gotten Williams to be, but I did get into a reasonable place. I guess if I wanted to keep mixing on my face, then I could get it, thicker and that kind of thing. Also, I bet that same procedure on a bigger puck that fills the cup would have been much easier. So a little bit of a handicap there because of the size of the puck being so small. So this blue is just a great scent, classic. I really like it. I have to find out if my wife likes it or not. All right, I'm going to clean up. I do have a little bit of that menthol burn. I don't really care for it, and so I guess I'll probably never. It's strong enough to feel more like a burn than a cooling effect to my skin. So I'm guessing I've got some kind of mild sensitivity or something like that. I don't look forward to the menthol like some guys do. Don't like it. If it's in the very, very tiny quantities, then it's fine. But I've only found one that has it in that ratio. Most of them are just too much. But this will make me smell very good once that menthol kick dies down. All right, we're all cleaned up. So the face lather usually does end up to be a quicker shave overall time, even though I do spend more time, working my face to try to build up the lather, whereas with the bowl, the lather's built up in the bowl. But it just seems to be a little faster. Every time I look down, I'll see something like 18 minutes at the end of a recording when I have face lathered, and a little bit longer when it is a bowl lather. So there's just a concrete issue there, if that's your preference. I think I probably like the bowl lather than what I just did, but I think I want to make sure that I give this one a fair shake I'll try to use a little bit less water next time. Repeat this pretty much the same one. I think I may wait with this Grande, the newer version, and I'll try it when I have another soap that's able to give me a little bit more density, because this tiny puck of Williams is, it's on its last leg there. And this was a 1-minute load, and that's how much soap I was able to get with quite a bit of water in a 1-minute load. It definitely didn't have to add any more water to the mug at all, and it wasn't very much in terms of going back to the mug and stirring up a little bit for the second and third pass, but it was just I was kind of bothered that I had to do it at all, and then that's more mixing on your face during the second and the third pass when your skin's already had maybe enough of that. All right, anyway, so that's my take. I'm really glad for the advice from, I believe Needs More Menthol is the Redditor who gave me that info, and really happy to have that technique in the bag. I'll write that down as one of my good methods for Williams, because sometimes it is a little finicky, but there we go. Really liking the Reserve Cool scent, and the burn is gone. Didn't take too long to go away. And so far in my battle of the Frank Shaving Silvertip brush versus the Golden Nib Premium Silvertip, the Golden Nib seems to be a little nicer on the face. A little bit maybe more backbone, but then softer tips is what I'm kind of feeling so far. That's my preliminary result, and we'll keep going back and forth between the two until I kind of feel good about the differences that I'm saying about these two brushes. But either one, great brush if you like the medium-low type of backbone, where it's just gonna be really airy and comfy and puffy and that kind of thing. If you're looking for something that scrubs really hard, then these two are not the way to go for you. All right, well, we're all cleaned up. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Hope there was something here for you, helped you out. Maybe you were looking for a face lather on Williams. Maybe this will give you some good guidance, and I'm thankful for the wisdom of Needs More Menthol for this attempt. So take care. Have a good night.